Well, ladies and gentlemen, third match of the day. My name's Sammy Legg. I'm joined by HRTC President Graham Bradfield in the van, the mighty van. We've got a humdinger here. An absolute humdinger.
Yeah, we have the local boys, especially our local assistant pro, Pastoor,
including former assistant pro of Hobart Real Tennis Club, Tony Blom.
Tony Blom, who's now a lawn tennis coach, has been for quite some time, and in fact, just a couple of years ago, won the award for the best lawn tennis coach in Australia.
That doesn't surprise me. He's a fantastic lawn tennis coach, having learned from him when I was a very, very young child. I didn't continue my lawn tennis career, but Tony proved very useful in developing hand-eye as a young child. Here we have Jackson Pastoor, assistant professional at the Hobart Real Tennis Club under Brett McFarlane. His handicap says 22 there, Bradders, but I have a feeling he's going to be playing a bit beyond that today. He's been doing a lot of practice.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, Sammy, because we have a left-hander and a right-hander playing, and as we both appreciate, it's a nice combination on real tennis when you have a left-hander and a right-hander.
Can confirm it's a real massive pain to play against.
Yep, and especially when you have someone of Jackson's size, where he's got such a long wing, he can really stretch out and get most things, and he's got a great volley from lawn tennis, so
indeed.
See some exciting moves up at the front, but I think they may have a mountain a little bit big to climb this afternoon, Sammy. Do you want to fill us in on the old fellas down the other end?
They're going to have to use all their skills to match the cunning of the receiving end. Obviously, we've got Rob Fahey with that newly designed, I can't remember, sorry, what club that is. It's a new logo for whatever club it is, the Oratory School. Rob doesn't really need any introductions. He's Rob.
There he
you
goes.
know him better than I.
Look at Ben's just put up the list there. It takes up more than half the screen, and it's not for the faint-hearted that he's known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and that's because just look at that list of achievements. It
looks about 14 Australian Opens or something like that.
And I think, Sammy, it nearly goes back to before you were born, unfortunately.
Well, a long way before I was born. He's 2003 was not that long ago, as can vouch.
When were you born?
2003.
2003, and that was when he first started winning on that long length of some of the world doubles.
Well, yes, he developed the forcing game a little bit later than when he won the world championship. But he's paired up with Ben Taylor Matthews, the professional from Bristol, very well renowned playing professional.
And Ben in the last couple of years has really toned down. Those of us that saw him in his last time in Australia about 4 or 5 years ago, he was significantly larger.
The Hobart Real Tennis Club for the 2025 Australian Open. This is a first round doubles match. Serving, we have Tony Blom and Jackson Pastoor. And at the receivers end, we have Rob Fahey and Ben Taylor Matthews.
Chappie.
This match is the best of 5 6-game sets. Love all. Jackson serve. Good luck. He's up.
Nice solid start.
15 love. Ball up, please.
It'll be interesting to see how the local boys play this one. Obviously, both of them being lawn tennis players, they're going to be more comfortable up at the net. I'd expect Tony on his forehand side to be utilising the forehand corner.
So it's interesting. We've got 3 of the players on this court have basically all been Tasmanian tennis champions.
I didn't think of that. It's true.
Yeah. So they all came from lawn tennis originally. That's Tony, Jackson and Rob. Rob, in fact, I think was the youngest Tasmanian state champion. Was at the age of 16. Beat David Hundry, so that's my era. Wow.
40 love on chase.
I think that's one of the hallmarks we'll see today, Sammy, is just consistent, quite quicker balls from the older players and not many racket errors, and they'll be looking to see what works for them. I don't think these two have actually played that much together.
No, and
Rob has played with Nick Howard in recent years.
And before that, Steve Agona. Ben has been quoted to say he plays like an expletive whenever he's on court with Rob. Hoping to change that this tournament.
See lots of railroads today.
And again, serve lead by 1 game to love first set.
See a lot of that shot too, the main wall tambour which goes around behind the player in the Hobart court.
Proving very hard to find this week though. These painted walls are making it a very small target to hit. Fresh paint rather.
Yep.
Thank you.
Had a few of the players comment to me, Bretters, that the skid boast penthouse output on the forehand side of the service end is not something that happens everywhere else.
No, and also, Sammy, the backhand penthouse receiver's end that pops up onto the tambour throws up an interesting one too. It doesn't happen on many other courts.
No, it doesn't really happen.
And that's a good example there where it doesn't trouble the left-hander so much, the tambour.
No, but I like that that matchup at the receivers end, the left-hand, right-hand combination. Using the forehand off the timbre.
Yeah, and it means that both players can basically play 70 to 80% of their shots on their forehand. They play it together.
Yeah, basically just defending the ground backhand.
And just doing a neat whirl there.
Something that my opponents about an hour ago couldn't find.
Yeah, they tried it a few times. So get it?
Slightly easier shot with me standing out there.
And Rob showing his knowledge there on the forehand corner. He didn't let it go to the back wall at all. He just steps in neatly and picks it off.
It's been hard for the touring players to read this week.
Our forehand corner is just so difficult. It never gives the same bounce, really.
Never. That's
good. That's Jackson not really going for a full bore shot. He just decent speed there, so he's trying to keep his stakes down, which is what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, he's been working on hitting that ball sort of 70-80% rather than giving it the full Monty. He's got a lot of power behind him, Jackson, but it's got to be aimed in the right direction, otherwise it's not entirely useful.
It's a long time since I've been able to hit a penthouse that goes out of court.
The receivers lead 40 love.
He can hit it straight away out of court.
Easily. Very easily.
So here we go. We'll see, as I said, lots of railroads.
Fantastic.
Receivers point, 1 the hazard.
And that was quite a good
And
railroad.
game, 3 games to love that set.
Point for them.
Oh! Double fault.
I'm surprised Tony's serving that railroad
15
far
love.
back.
And that fast on a second
And
serve.
he's quite tall, he can go up and serve
I've just proved in that match beforehand that the fast railroad second serve is always a good idea.
One of the advantages when you're playing doubles is you can go and serve right up near the second gallery line. You know, you see the better players use it.
I tried in that doubles match there to chuck in a few at a last gallery, worse than 6, something like that. And it was reasonably effective. I think I served some good ones to Cam Chappie.
Yeah.
know if they'd say the same. It's disappointing there from Tony.
40 love.
He will
Ladies and
be.
gentlemen.
He will be especially disappointed in that. He likes that volley.
Yep. And he's normally really consistent on it too.
40 love receivers. Time, please. Time.
This is kind of the setup that I think I like more for a left-hander combination. Left-hander up in the cavalry.
So that was one of those unforced errors that Jackson's been trying to cut out. And it's going to really hurt them if they do many of those in this match.
It's interesting service there. Servers have not won a single point so far.
Two.
Such a well-placed post there.
No strokes. Ball up, please, gentlemen.
Ben.
I'm sure Ben will know that they've not dropped a single point yet. Rob might not care so much.
Tony. First serve.
I think they'll be just exploring each other's game for the moment, getting comfortable with each other.
Better than two. Better than two.
There we go.
Better than two, both ends of the court.
If you'd have been that sensitive about it, you might have hit that one, I think, Sammy.
I think that looks looser railroad a long way up the court is just begging to be hit and made more dead-ons, but going to conserve energy in this one. It's starting to get quite hot in the van as well.
Yeah.
Probably going to be getting quite hot out on the court in the next hour or two.
Yeah, we have to thank Peter Creedon for this lovely van, which he basically fitted out inside with his own hands, but I'll get on to
No
it about his
strokes.
air
Chase
conditioning.
Benson, two.
He has done a beautiful job.
Yep. He's out sailing on his boat this evening.
Sounds terrible.
The chase.
Left.
15 love servers. Hazard Chase Benton, two.
Let's see if the receivers can get a point on the board here.
There's what we were talking about. You see Ben sneaking up a little bit further up on his railroad, and then he moves straight up towards last gallery.
Just gives that receiver a little less time than they used to, doesn't it?
Yep, but it really cramps down the angles they've got. And I'd love to be serving and having Rob Fahey defending off the main wall.
He's not bad at it. Definitely seen a few of them.
There we go. This is what he loves doing. Picking up Nathan players.
And the game. Servers lead first set by 5 games to love.
Ben Gatenbeek will have some very interesting statistics for this set. And he'll definitely be showing them to Jackson later. There we go. First point of the match for the receivers. It's a good one. Smart there.
Straight down the middle.
15 all.
You would have thought Tony and Jackson would be moving towards the centre, being left and right-handers.
Yeah, but you never really expected it in the middle, do you?
No, you don't.
30-15.
It's a good shot if hit tight enough. Chase the door.
First gallery.
Chase first gallery.
Wow. That is a statistic. 94% service points.
And better than second.
Fahey and Taylor Matthews.
And they're just so consistent. Someone
30-15, first gallery better
this
than the
match
second gallery.
very few, if any, double faults. And
Unlike the previous match.
yep. And also, it's interesting because Jackson and Tony have played so much lawn tennis doubles. You can see that they don't naturally
The
play
receivers lead
real tennis
30-15,
doubles the way
just
they
the
move.
first gallery.
If they had started when they were younger.
Ball up, please, gentlemen.
It's a good shot if you make it, but it's pretty tight up there. If
40-15.
you've got a man defending the winning gallery has to.
Second gallery.
That's brutal. brutal.
And the game
It's an absolutely
and the
ruthless set.
Game
So
love.
now let's just see whether we can see whether Jackson and Tony change their game plan at all. They're having a bit of a chat here. No,
They're going to change who's serving first.
Second
Tony's
ball.
going to take the majority of the games in this set.
Ben electing not to leave it for a hazard, so he's not that fussed about getting the serve.
Good choice, in my opinion. I like that shot.
Tony's still staying way back to serve his serve.
Hazard chase the first gallery.
Wrong house.
Not sure what Jackson was aiming
Up the
for,
Seekers.
or else he missed it by a long, long way.
If I were him, I'd just be aiming at Bennett. Get some momentum going in this set.
That's a better shot.
Great way to start.
Go.
15 love.
Great way to start. Match the first set for points already.
That's such a heavy
Half
post.
yards.
That forehand corner makes it very difficult to read once you get it down into that line and length.
If that ball's any slower as well, that grips the ball and kicks out quite a long way.
Yeah.
Here we go. Points
Stats.
1 to 24. Crikey. Serves 1 0%. That's
Chase
there's
is
not
late,
really
that much difference, so that's good.
Not really a good way to spin that, to be honest, Brothers.
No.
15 all. Hazard chase the first gallery. Hazard.
If I were the
One pair is under no pressure whatsoever.
yes, and it's the pair that are making all the mistakes. It's often the case in this game.
That's an interesting, the way Tony played that. He went for a length shot.
30-15
Made-
receivers better than half a yard.
Ben and Rob would have both immediately boasted that into the backhand corner. That
See,
shot.
I think I quite like just cutting into the corners in doubles on this court, especially with Ben and Rob, who haven't quite seen as much of the court as the receivers.
30 all.
I like using the walls. I like using the funny angles.
You don't think Rob's seen as much of the court?
Not in the past few weeks, definitely not.
I think he'd have seen the remote pilot.
Well, you got to remember, he hasn't,
Remote
been,
autopilot.
40-30.
he hasn't been living here for about 25 years.
Again.
I reckon, Sammy, it's like putting on a
One
nice
game to love
old
second set.
shoe. It would just fit beautifully. You watch his
Very
serve.
potentially.
He'll line up at about chase 3 and do a beautiful length.
That does look like riding a bike, to be honest.
Yep.
15 love receivers.
I expect Rob won't be pushing himself especially hard in this match, considering he's got some more singles to play. He's trying to remain uninjured for this tournament.
Because the only choice left.
Percy's ripping.
Nice hard length.
15 all.
It's, can't leave that one for the nick in Hobart. It just dies.
Now look at this customary Fahey railway. It's very easy.
I wish we had the railway cam. It's fantastic.
Someone
there
knock
for
out
Rob.
the railway cab. I thought I saw
Railroad
you
there.
fixing it up.
30-15.
We just needed to whack a new sticky mountain there. There we go.
There we go.
Ben's answered my call.
It's hard to fathom why Tony hit that shot. You would have thought that up that far, it's just a straight, small shot straight into the first gallery.
Certainly I'd be playing for something safe, consistent, stay in the points, make this match last as long as possible, learn as much as you can from it, Jackson.
Hazard, first gallery.
Interesting. I think Rob and Ben, as you say, they're going to be trying to be as efficient as possible with this.
Yes.
Get out of
Hands
there.
there. Great hands.
Yep.
Slow backhand main wall. Underrated shot in my opinion.
Yep.
40-30 the
Snuck
receiving
in.
lead. Hazard, first gallery.
So it'll be interesting to see how they play this. Hazard first, worst chase on the court, basically.
Wrong side.
Oh, just the wrong
Game.
side. And would have just lost it.
Peninsula.
So, too low.
Shot there.
Still electing to hit it and take the hard main wall boast.
Worse than the door.
Not especially orthodox from Fahey there.
Well, I don't think he was aiming for that.
Read from Tony.
Great read, but
Doesn't quite convert.
no.
30 down.
So that's just, these mistakes are really hurting them. Yep. It's a lovely pressure. That's the shot you want, that one that hits the main wall tambour and just drops around behind. Good serve from Tony at that point. Set it up and they were in the rally well and truly, but
Firepower from
late
Taylor
main wall
Matthews.
dead on. It's so hard to defend on the Hobart court.
It comes onto you at an especially sharp angle at the minute.
Yeah. We'll notice as the tournament goes on, both Rob and Kieran Booth put a lot of slice and cut on it, so it can kick out of that main wall very late.
Especially that, I think in lawn
Watch
tennis
this
it's
one
called the
again.
passing shot.
40-15.
One's got outside spin on it.
Yep.
Grips the
Check
main
yours
wall
on the door.
fiercely.
Seeing lots of railroads today, as we thought. Interesting.
The door.
Garment arrangement change. The
Just
button.
stand still there, sorry guys.
Just get back from the net a little bit, just in case.
Thanks, Rob.
Must have some unfamiliar spectators.
You'll find stand up. Just don't get it in place.
Worse than the door. 40-15.
Sage advice from the former world champion there.
Yep. There we go. Showing how comfortable Rob is in that corner. Gives himself plenty of space. Knows that the ball could go at different angles and is ready for it.
I like that volley down the line there from Taylor Matthews as well. Creative.
And that's the shot we've been talking about that is so different on this court. The main ball timbre and round behind you. Not much you can do with it.
Especially at that pace. It's almost the perfect pace to hit it, somewhere where it doesn't come around all the walls and you can get a racket under it. shot there from Jackson.
Very good shot.
15
Usually happy with that.
Unusual volley error from
Hazard in the second gallery.
Ben trying for a winning gallery and just a little bit early on it.
Surprised we haven't seen more attempts from Tony. He was seemingly endlessly poking at the winning gallery yesterday in his singles against Bretlock. Yes.
30-15, one has
Length.
attended.
Wasn't that much pressure there.
No, Jackson's just not quite as comfortable reading the balls as the rest of the players on the court. Significantly less experience. That's all it is though, brothers, isn't it?
I'm surprised Tony didn't tell him to leave that one and take the hazard.
Now, in your playing days, brothers, did you ever get a chance to have a hit on the singles court or the doubles court with Rob Fahey in his youth?
Often, yeah. Well, in fact, for his first World Championship, I was the only sub-10 player that he could practice with in Hobart. So,
how would you say his game has changed since that '94 World Championship?
well,
Let's
when
say
he initially started, what he was so quick at doing was moving up the court and making lots of things into volleys, especially around chases 5 and 6, which really stopped people who were just using a length game against him. Especially the Julian Snows of the
30
world,
all.
who only knew one
Chase the
style,
line.
and that was a length shot, and he'd move up and basically nullify that completely.
So, of course, being the antithesis of someone like Rob.
Pretty much. And then he didn't really come under any pressure until Tim Chisholm came along, who is also a fantastic mid-court volleyer, and unfortunately his game was very similar to Rob's, but he couldn't just quite as well. And Rob says that Tim has probably been the closest person.
And by 1 set to love.
Of course, they had that 2001 or 2002 World Championships, right? Went to 6 all.
That's right.
Gallery.
Beaten to the wickets.
2 chases.
Now, the mid-court volley
3 no strokes.
that Rob in his early days did so well, would you say that you could draw some similarities between that kind of play style and the play style that Camden has, where he parks himself at kind of 4 and 5 for the entire match and plays
No, I don't think
backwards
so.
into the corners like a squash player?
No, because Camden parks himself up, but on the basis
No
that
strokes.
he's going to try and
Just
play
the
along
last
the floor.
gallery.
But because it's
Last
such a
gallery.
fast game, it gives him plenty of time to get them off the back wall.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. You listen to Camden talk about their last World Championship, and it was very much seesawing between the fast hitting of Rob's and Camden's retrieval game, seesawing from one to the other. And I think Rob's game changed as he's got older.
15 love, chase better than 3.
Very much more target oriented and very much tighter without having to do the leg work. So you saw him develop that corkscrew twist off the main wall into the dead on more and more, so that as soon as there was a bit of a loose spot, Rob would shut down the point. And you'll see where Ben just boasted that from, 2 boasts up around 6th and last gallery, and Camden's very good at that. He's very good to play the boasting game. And as you're saying, Sammy, when he's up around 4 and 5, he plays quite
And 5 games to love.
So, and pardon viewers, we are talking a bit during the rallies here because it's a little bit recur what's happening at the moment. There's a lot lot of mistakes being made from the pressure that this older pair are putting the younger Hobart pair under.
I know that Jackson especially will be feeling the pressure of following the footsteps of an assistant professional in Hobart like Rob Fahey.
Oh, absolutely. That's really good to watch Rob's railroad here. He's looking, it's a textbook railroad to try and stop the person volleying it. He's looking for that second bounce just near the bando or third bounce. Like that, so that it becomes difficult to volley.
As they bring up a set point for
and he'll do that all day. And what he likes about it in doubles is he doesn't have to then go scurrying over to the forehand corner. He can just relax and move up to last gallery. So this suits his game very well.
Chuck it in and let bend it.
15-40.
Absolutely.
Sounds lovely to me.
Well, he's more than a decade older than everyone else on the court, and 2 decades of suffering.
Game and the second set.
Very comfortable.
6 games of love.
Now, I didn't see
2 sets of love. Ben to serve.
definitely won more points in the first set, but I wouldn't hesitate to say that it probably didn't reach double figures.
Definitely not.
He's got the right idea there, playing to Jackson on the floor. It's definitely not as comfortable on the floor as he is on the volleys. I want to see Tony using that a bit more. He's got a really good backhand force. There it
What
is.
you're talking about, yep. You sure you're not
Third
talking
to
about
15.
It's the opposite of commentator's curse.
Let me think about that.
30-15 receivers. First set.
Careful what you wish for.
I'd like to see them get into this match.
Yeah.
They
They've
just
got
haven't
nothing to
managed,
lose.
haven't managed to get a foot in the door so far.
Close. And you can see their confidence is really difficult to find with an unforced error like that.
Having played a bit of doubles with Tony in recent months, I can say that he's not the most comfortable player on the doubles court, especially having spent a lot of his time in recent years on the lawn tennis court.
40-30.
He's a fantastically fast individual, very fit.
Wow.
And you'll notice when you see a good team like Al and Pete play together that they move in towards each other in the middle and play out, which you can do when you're playing with a left-hander. And if you see
40-30.
Tim Chisholm and Camden play together, it's interesting. They move one in front of the other, but they're basically moving towards the middle of the court all the time and moving out onto their forehands.
Yeah.
And it gives the other people, unless they're going to try and go around them, it gives them very little place to play.
Tim and Camden are such a dynamic doubles pair, though. They move around the court effortlessly and have figured out. I like to think that they've thought about every scenario and in which person would be better to take which ball. They've obviously put a lot of effort into their doubles game over the years and been rewarded with
40-30
6
World
world championships.
And often the best doubles pairs are those that are really consumed with making sure the best player takes the ball that's best for them.
Use the strengths there. Good volley there from Tony.
Keeps it out.
Dug out.
Yes, good.
Yes.
Deuce.
A nice tight
Chance here for one love.
first game, yeah. No, Jackson's such a good backhand.
Advantage receiver.
Disappointed with that.
Yep.
His good backhand volleys are very, very good, but he has quite a range of options on that ball. Is that coming in the winning gallery?
Deuce again.
Deuce.
Well, if he'd have left it, it would have gone close.
Very close. Very close. the last time that Ben and Tony met on the doubles court was in 2019 for the World Doubles. Wrong hole.
Second gallery.
Tony was playing with Hobart international professional Graham Highland
Oh, yes. Yep.
for his last hurrah on the Royal Tennis Court, I think. Unless he's
a
played any
competitive-
tournaments in America.
Competitive spirit. Graham Holland, one of the best
Advantage
doubles players,
as it
especially
takes the second
in
gallery.
relation to picking some interesting shots to play.
Just trying to get some ventilation into the van here. It's getting
That'll-
rather warm in the sun in Hobart. Here we go, set 2 summary. Points won for Tony and Jackson in that set, 8-24. Very efficient from Fahey and Taylor Matthews. Doesn't
Service
appear...
advantage, Hazard chase second gallery.
But look at the chasers. The chasers have gone way down there.
Didn't appear that Tony and Jackson made a chase. It seems that
Third set.
they only hit Hazard chases in that set.
Is that right? I didn't pick that up, but there were 3 times as many chases laid by Robert Benz
Oh.
by the others.
Using the floor effectively. First loose railroad we've seen today.
And that's
Thank you.
a problem for a left-hander like Tony. Both of those shots, I would have thought they would have got more action out of most than down the wall.
Good choice there from Jackson.
15 love.
Put the pace on it and get behind the player at the net and utilising that. Whereas you'll see Rob
Can't
utilises that all the time, and so does Chappie. Chris Chapman will use that low, hard boast in the backhand corner often in that situation.
It's a second serve.
Jackson.
Can.
Two chasers. Hazard worse than a yard and better than 5. 15 love.
And I think as Rob got older as well, he started to use that very low boast a lot in his play to move the player around and put them off guard. And especially in doubles games like this, with he and Steve Agona were playing a lot, that they both boasted quite a lot to try and stop that straight
15 love
drive
for
that was
servers.
being picked off by volleys.
Hazard chase
Great
worse than a
nullifying shot
yard.
in the game of doubles.
Hazard.
To score 0.
Yep. Jackson's got the great height for a railroad, which is a huge advantage. Come down
Hazard
onto
worse
the
than a
penthouse
yard.
on Hobart and really drive it down on towards the neck.
Yeah, I can speak to that. The railroad is an incredibly difficult serve to learn as a sub 5'7" individual.
Interesting enough, some of the best railroaders in history have been short people. Howard Angus's railroad was legend, just so hard and fast.
Was also left-handed though, wasn't it?
He was.
Yeah, it's
So
very
maybe
much
30 love servers lead.
very much an
better than
advantage to
5.
left-handed railroad.
Yep.
Better than 5.
Howard Angus, the potentially the smallest world champion of the relatively modern era. Because humans have gotten taller since the invention of real tennis.
Not sure I've thought it out like that, Sammy, but you're right.
Well, in the Great Depression, people were significantly
15,
shorter
30.
because of malnourishment in their youth.
There you have it.
40 15.
Sorry, I imagine playing in the late 1800s, early 1900s real tennis. It would have been a bit like playing today in America. All their penthouses are way high.
Yeah, I think you probably.
And the game.
Finally get one.
Good result there for the Hobart boys.
And it's 1 game all. 1 all.
Even in this set, a chance for them here.
I'm not sure I'd go that far, Sammy. I think
I mean, it might give us a slim chance.
Rob and Ben are looking fairly relaxed about it. It's such a beautiful cut-off volley in front of the tambour.
15 love.
You have a backhand player in your doubles pair that can play that shot.
Going back to the
Hey,
last time Tony and Ben met, in that World Doubles Championship, Ben was playing with Frenchman Mathieu Salon, and
French amateur.
Well,
French amateur champion. Good hands there from Pistol. His cricket coach will be proud of that. The first round of the World Doubles Championship saw Tony and Graham take a set off
30 up.
Ben and Mathieu.
Right.
Took the first in reasonably decisive fashion due to Tony's fast railroad that we can see him employing here. He's got one of the faster railroads in
15
tennis.
30.
He's not afraid to really rip it in there.
And Ben could leave a lot of these for hazard, but he's electing to play them. Like he's electing to play them. And this
40,
tells
15,
you
one
that they're
chase.
not that fussed about the serve, even though they're
Worse than a yard.
spending 3 times as much time there. They're not really going for it. They're just finding the chases, and I mean they're just.
Obviously, look at this. They're absolutely dominating the court, getting up at almost halfway up the court to. Didn't do them much good in that point, but they're not really letting anything get past them, pushing the pace onto the.
And of course, that increases the error rate. That's what you
The
always do.
service
When
lead,
you play
40-15.
players who aren't quite as
worse than
experienced,
the yards.
make sure you put them in that position where they're going to increase their errors.
See a backhand forced dead onto you. There it is.
There it is. Well played, Tony.
30-40.
Oh dear.
His backhand is so tight.
Okay.
He's always going to put that one in the right spot.
Third set.
And that might have looked a relatively easy volley for Jackson, but the problem is it's hitting the wall very close to the tam. And so your back of your mind is the fact that you're thinking, is it going to hit the tam or brush it while you're trying to volley it.
Good result there
That's
for
the
the
shot I
Hobartians.
think Tony should be going for more often when it's on
15
that side
love.
rather than going down the wall. Don't you reckon, Sammy, if you'd been doing that earlier?
I'd agree.
So they're starting to think a bit more about it.
Find some funny angles.
30 up.
Big fan of chaos on the doubles court. Play some funny angles. Get the ball into some areas that you don't see that much.
15-30.
Heard Camden earlier in the week say as much as well about playing doubles. He really enjoys finding areas of the court that really don't get used all well.
It's 40-15 or 30 all.
Good dig. Jackson's lack of reading experience
30 all.
kind of showing there. He's not quite used to how the ball's bouncing around the court yet.
Didn't quite get to the hazard chases.
No, it can be. You have to hit that ball extremely hard to get it to rattle around, get into the hazards. Obviously in Hobart, because the tambour's at a shallower angle, you're less likely to hit hazards off the flat tambour.
Yeah.
But if you hit Maymore tambour hard enough, it can rattle around and find just
Game.
disappointing result
3
there for
games to
Jackson.
1.
There is sort of the right idea off that serve. Force it. Right idea to make that big mistake.
Better than last
Find the
gallery.
execution.
Nearly worse than last gallery.
That point exemplifies that these guys are taking it fairly easy. Not worrying about leaving the chase to last minute.
15 love.
No.
just sort of decided, nah, I'll just let that go. And
I'd hazard a guess that in a tight singles match, he'd almost be happy to leave that one these days as well.
yeah, it depends on who he's playing and who he's serving. Some people he's more than
Ball up,
happy to
please.
receive all
Gentlemen,
day.
gentlemen.
And in fact, he's played when he's played Cam and a couple of
Serves lead 30 love.
actually
One
been
chase
winning
pending.
more from the receiver's end than the server's end, and he's been quite content to stay down there and use his cut volley to advantage.
On day 2 of the 2018 championships, a prime example of that. Smacking dead on after dead on.
Yep.
What
High
love?
ball there from Ben.
You're talking about the one in Melbourne?
Nearly.
2018
Queens.
Queens.
Queen's day 2.
That's right.
Possibly the most aggressive we've ever seen Rob Fahey. Put on 2 stone for that World Championships as opposed to losing a stone for the Melbourne 2014. In 2016 realised he's not quite able to outrun Cam anymore.
40 love, receivers lead. Chase nearly.
It's amazing
the
how,
was the last gallery.
Absolutely mind-blowing for me how easily Rob sees the ball from standing up so straight. I just can't. I haven't got the eyes for. I haven't got the hand-eye for it.
Unfortunately, Sammy, you'll learn as you get older, that tends to be your default position.
15 for time, please.
It already is for me. I'd rather stand up and cut the ball like that all day.
15
can't.
40.
Got to use my young knees.
So they haven't really changed.
Haven't changed serve and return. Haven't changed serve and receiver for the entire match. I wonder if that's a tactic from the old boys to try and get in the head of Jackson. Great volley there.
Jackson saw it coming and gave it the full face of the racket.
30 40.
That's the post I was talking about, the low hard.
Juice.
Well, didn't make it over the net that time, but you can see where it was heading.
Hands.
Jackson.
Not so good hands.
Yeah.
Jackson is,
Receivers advantage.
as I said, blows quite hot and cold on volley. The good ones are exceptional. Just seeing the other side of it there.
So Tony's oh,
Okay.
that ball hurt. That ball hurt.
The receivers lead.
Especially off
2
a
sets
set
love.
And that just
4-1
shows
in
the
the first
pressure
set.
they're
4
under.
games to 1.
Tony had to go for broke. He had no confidence. Just getting it over was going to be enough.
Yeah.
So he went as hard as he could.
If I were the service here, I reckon I'd be just wanting to run Rob as much as possible and get them angry that they're having to work a bit harder than they should.
That's a good point, Sammy, but I don't think they're able to do that at all because they're too busy trying to get the ball back at the moment.
I'd agree. Let's see if you can stay in the point long enough. Somebody's going to make a
15
mistake.
love.
Just so happens that Rob and Ben are less likely to do so.
Straight down the middle.
Now that,
Time, please,
I
Jackson.
want to talk about that little exhale from Rob Fahey before he hit that ball. All the best players in the world, I've noticed, will either exhale or hold their breath through the shot. It's a very important way of adding to your core balance, core stability rather, for a set shot like that. Part of the reason why Rob can hit such an accurate force from a set shot like that, he keeps his core rock solid.
Yeah, and you saw it there again too, Sammy, the way he hit that main ball force. Not that much racket in it. A lot of it was just that core body strength and just whipping through the ball.
It's half the reason why I maintain that learning how to play golf is so good for the sport.
This good, you reckon, learning to play golf?
Yeah, learning how to swing a golf club is
Yeah.
one of the best exercises, in my opinion, for learning how to force the ball in real tennis.
That's an interesting thought.
Makes you a very efficient hitter of the ball. Teaches you how to align the racket face properly, a little bit like that.
Yeah. So again, what Sammy's talking about is very much a core hitting motion then. Wasn't a lot of arm swing. The body and the legs.
But of course, right arms are incredibly strong still. Still has to do quite a lot of work in the gym.
Hazard. Better than one. Better than a yard, hazard side.
Interesting. Ben hasn't been leaving those.
Whoa!
I'd almost guess that if he's in the right position, he's more than happy to hit them, but if he's not, then it's a safe hazard. Good miss at the timbre there from Jackson.
I would have thought Tony might have been trying some other serves. He's sticking to this railroad, which is coming right onto these two of the best volley returners in the world. They're just going to do that again.
Good nick there.
15
Found the right
all.
brick. There is a dead one there somewhere in the nick in the backhand side.
Worse than 3.
There it is.
2 chasers.
Bold.
Hazard better than a yard and worse than 3. 15
Clean
all.
bold. Of course, this court has a very interesting construction on the outside and on the inside. It's sandstone blocks. The side walls are rendered with horsehair plaster. Some parts aren't horsehair anymore because we've
No, I
got
think most of them have been nearly replaced, I think, Sammy, but you're still right. Some bits of
15 all. Hazard chase better than a yard.
We
Back
weren't
walls.
fortunate enough to have a Joseph Bickley down in our part of the world at that time, even though it would have been nice and it was before his time.
would have been a very expensive endeavour to sail him out here.
Chase worse than 3.
And he used a large workforce too, so that he got such a beautiful finish on the walls.
Yeah. Of course, Bickley wasn't quite around in 1875, but
We lost the chase. 40-15.
Moved
Difference.
to a match point very quickly.
wow, we're already there. The difference between the side walls and the back wall are the back walls aren't rendered. They're just mason sandstone.
But
They've
I
been-
think that's right. Yeah. There's no red.
30-40.
No rendering on them at all. I'm guessing the reason as to why they rendered the side walls is because it was cheaper than hiring masons.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Have to.
Let's talk to a historian about that.
Alan Wilson would be able to do that.
Wow. Great force there from Tony to save match point.
Deuce.
Match.
How long has this match been getting for? Very long. Very efficient from the experienced player. This is what I think Jackson and Tony should be trying to do. Just get the ball into some strange positions.
Advantage.
Match point number 3.
Game, set,
winning
and the
gallery.
match.
Well, it's,
Fairly expected result, but still.
Rob Fahey and Ben Taylor
Exactly
Matthews.
what
6-love,
the,
6-love, 6-1.
exactly
Rob
what
and
the
Ben wanted was a nice, efficient match to get through without having to do too much work.
and good experience for the young pro Pastoor.
Who have we got coming on next, Sammy?
Well, I believe we've got we've got a 3-hour gap now between now and the next match. The next match will start at 5 p.m. And I honestly can't remember who it's between. I should know.
Oh, the match at 5.
The match at
Match
5.
at 5 is going to be a humdinger. It's Kieran Booth and Ollie Britton versus Claire Fahey and
Will Flynn.
Will. So that'll be an amazing match. So anyone who wants to come down, that's the one to really want to look for this one.
Hopefully those in England can wake up early and tune in for that one. I know Schenkman probably will.
Yeah, And I know Wayne Davies has been on to me this morning. He's been looking in. He's reclining on his couch at the moment in America with a knee just done a day or so ago. So he sent me a photo of it. Chris Ronaldson said, "Oh, I got the same photo." So he's clearly doing a bit of communicating.
There we go.
He's on his,
well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to join you. I expect we'll be shutting down the stream very soon, but
you can see where we're sitting. So
in the van.
In the van. And we got a little bit cooler by leaving the door open a little bit ajar, which is helping.
Be sure, please, to tune in at 5 p.m. for the drinks match.
And if you can, get yourself down here at 45 Davey Street, Hobart, and watch some of the best players in the world. And you'll certainly see the best ladies player in the world on court at 5 o'clock against the world's best amateur, Kieran Booth, who's actually from Tasmania.
Current world's best junior off handicap
is Will.
Ollie Pridmore.
Oh, and Ollie Pridmore, is he the world's best off handicap?
I believe he's the world's best junior off handicap.
There you
Shankman
go.
will, and Ollie will correct me if that's wrong, but Freddie Bristow has had some losses recently and his handicap's gone up.
Right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can get yourself down here, it'll be well worth seeing. There'll be plenty on offer. There'll be some suitable refreshments at that time of the day, and it's been a nice warm day, so it'll be a humdinger of a match. See you then.
Thank you very much.